4 days doesn't seem like a lot, but I need to have that like 4 days. Like, I've got loads of time. Not loads of time, but I've got time. I'm gonna be okay either way. It's such a beautiful day as well. Yeah, many of those to come. I've got 4 days left until I move to Australia. I don't even know like how I feel. Like, I'm trying not to like stress out loads about it, because, you know, any problems that arise, I just need to deal with it when that actually comes. I'm nervous. Why I left Australia. I want to say thank you for all the views, all the subscribers, all the support. I really appreciate it. It's really kind. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I want to make more videos. I just find it fun. I find it fun. I feel like so many people relate to me in the sense that when you're younger, you feel like you always want to do YouTube videos, always want to record myself, so here I am. I'm fulfilling my dream, and it's just fun. It's a hobby, and it would be nice to look back on things as well. So I do hope you enjoy that. First of all, I want to say Australia, out of this world. I don't think anyone could complain about Australia though. I think it's always been known to be such a lovely country. Obviously with what's happening right now, maybe not. However, apart from that, it's a beautiful country, and I'm not dissing it at all. I would recommend it. I really would, even as a holiday, to work there. This is my experience, but that's not everyone's experience. I mean, there's people that will say the complete opposite to me. So yeah. The reasons that I did move was a fresh start. I had this itch. I've been wanting to move away for ages, and I feel like in the job that I had in the back before I moved was very like, if I didn't leave now, I would never leave. So even now, like, I'm glad, because when I did have the job, it wasn't like I was looking for other jobs really. So it gave me a chance to actually force myself to move on if I just got rid of everything and started new. So I just had this itch for ages, and then I kept telling everyone, and then it almost felt like I had to make this happen. Obviously pressure in my own head, like it didn't have to happen, but it did, and I'm really grateful it did, to be honest. It really pushed me to be better. I just want to say as well, I have got notes of what I want to say. So if you see me looking down, I've not got a script. I just want to make sure that I include everything. I think the biggest issue of why I left was not having a job. And towards the end, I did manage to get a job. I did go for some interviews. And SeaWorld actually got back to me, which I'm grateful for, of course, but it's not necessarily what I wanted. I wanted a career change. I didn't want to stay in hospitality, but I could have still stayed there until something else came up, but it just wasn't appetising enough for me. So I didn't take it. That's just what it was. Obviously another thing is actually just missing everyone. I had said that my sister was really upset, and my nan, like, everyone was quite upset that I had left, and not to take their opinions too, like, because I'm still here, like, it's not like I'm not here. However, it did make me upset. Like, these people that care about me the most are upset, and obviously never let anyone else determine your journey. Please don't do that. But my feelings were pretty strong. And also, before I left, I had mentioned it in my first video, like, me and my boyfriend had to break up, which was obviously not going to be nice. However, it didn't go as planned, to say the least. We still kept in contact, and I do think that made it harder. Not that we were planning to stay in contact. I think like there was nothing bad happening in the relationship, so it was easy to just want to reach out and say, you okay, like what's going on, like I'm here, because nothing bad had happened. You know, it's easier when they've done something bad to you and you're trying to get rid of them. Wasn't like that. So yeah, that upset me. I do think, and I've said this to him as well, that if I completely cut contact, it actually probably would have been easier for me to move on. And not move on in the sense of like getting with people and whatnot, like I'm not really about that. However, just, you know, moving forward, whereas like I was one step in the past and one step in the future, so it was so, it made me want to come home because of the comfort of coming home, because I knew that someone was there waiting for me, you know. Not this is not like a character thing though, it was just, it's obviously going to be harder keeping in contact with someone that you love, that you saw a future with. And I'd never come back for someone, not that I'd completely come back for him, obviously there's a part of me that knew that I wanted to see him. I'm not stupid, like I know there's an actual connection there, and I wouldn't have just left for like someone stupid, you know. Like I think I'm pretty clued up, I think. Touch on the job a little bit more as well. Jobs are like hard to find, but there's also a lot of jobs going. So like I was speaking to someone there that was from Argentina, and she was like up and down applying all the time. She managed to get like a job, but it didn't pay very well for what she was doing. So it's like, and I wasn't proper on it. Like I was a little bit. I'd have like a few days where I'd like just keep applying to loads of jobs. And obviously, as I said, I did get a few interviews from that. However, the response, there's a lot of competition. I actually feel like there's more competition for hospitality than like office jobs there. I think hospitality is more romanticised. Whether it's a good or bad romanticised, I don't know. There than in the UK. I think hospitality here is a lot more less cool, you know. I guess that's just like a culture thing, maybe. I don't know, I think maybe it's nicer to, like, there's a whole, like, cafe, like, barista in hot weather, and then you go to the beach after, like, that kind of... I do get it. And I would have actually liked to work hospitality there, but as a barista. And I did apply for some jobs, and I did get some interviews, but none of them really got back to me. But yeah, sad really, but it's okay. Explain my experience a little bit more. So the first 2 weeks was really bad for me. Like, my first day, I don't know if I explained in my first video, I'm pretty sure I did, but I was just crying so much. Like, I was so sad, and what could I do? Like, I was there, I was in the hostel. I was probably stressed though, to be honest. I mean, I don't know why, but when I'm on airplanes, I never think. You'd think because you have nothing, you'd think, but I'm actually thinking about what's the next thing to do to keep me from being bored. Like, I actually don't think too much. It's always when I actually get to the place. It's weird. So the first 2 weeks was shite. Like, it was horrible. Like, I couldn't really meet any proper friends. Like, people felt like really kept coming and going. Towards the end, like the last 2 weeks was okay. Like, I actually think it would have got better. I did meet some friends that I could definitely like just see myself being friends with for like that year that I was there, or if they didn't move or whatever. Like, I actually found some people that I would still keep in contact with now, whether it's like all the time or not. Like, I would always keep in contact with them because I really like them. So shout out to you guys, I guess. Also, why I'd left is the constant pressure of not getting my life together. Because I'm not working, life goes really slow. And it sounds very hypocritical, but I want a slow life. But you know the phrase where it's like, if you time goes fast when you're having fun. So I want a slow life, but one that I enjoy, you know, which I wasn't enjoying it. No matter how many times I went to the beach, or, you know, like, only things go so far in making you happy. And not to say that it didn't make me happy at all, it just didn't hit the spot where I need it to be, because that's not going to sort the issue out. It's just me in a better environment. Makes sense? I don't know. I didn't really allow myself to just be present. I actually don't think there was many times, especially the first few weeks, that I was actually present. Like, I was always just thinking, what's next? But then I actually should have just been living in the moment. If I knew that I wanted to go home, I should have just lived the moment, which I knew I was going to go home towards the end. So I did live a little bit, you know. I stayed up later, had a few drinks, like, I lived a little bit more. I didn't feel like I needed to wake up the next day and be super productive, you know? So, what can I do? Touching on the last thing, like, you're going to meet a lot of people, but it's very surface level connections. Like, there's some people that you'll just, like, meet, like, for a day or whatever, and there are some people that you would meet, like, a few times, and you just have to be aware of the fact that not everyone's going to stay. People are travelling, and people have their own journeys. Some people are travelling, some people are staying there. Yeah. I also just want to say, I wish I had travelled before and spent money on travelling instead. Obviously, now that I've left, it seems more apparent to do that. But obviously, I was running out of money, and I felt like I couldn't have travelled as much and enjoyed myself as much because my money was running out. Not running out completely, just like not enough. So yeah, I wish I'd travelled and known about more places before settling in the Gold Coast. And not that the Gold Coast was bad. I think the Gold Coast is beautiful. I really did. But I have nothing really to compare it to except for Byron Bay and a little bit of Brisbane, but not really Brisbane, to be honest. I didn't go around Brisbane. So it was difficult, you know? I wish I had travelled. Because you have people in your ear all the time being like, Perth is really good, like, it's so underrated, it's so good. The Gold Coast is amazing. All this, like, I love Sydney so much, my favourite city. But what do you like? What do I like? Is going to be different to them, you know? So the only reason that you're going to know is by going there yourself. So I would really recommend travelling before you settle down, 100%. Touching on money a little bit, I went in with $7,000, which is 3.5k pounds. 3,500 pounds. Yeah. So I had wished that I had saved a little bit more money just to give myself more room, like to have more, so I wasn't as anxious, you know, like even if I came back I'd still have more money, you know. And not that I even ran out of money, I probably spent about like 2k of that. However, it doesn't help that the first 2 weeks I was really scared of using the kitchen in the hostel, just because I feel like everyone would be judging me. But that's just like an inside thing. It's the same with, like, a few years ago it was like people's showers, but now it's people's kitchens. I think now that I've grew older, it just gives me loads of anxiety. I feel like I'm going to burn the place down. And then everyone's looking at you and you're like, oh, because I think there was a time where it was beeping. But it was fine. And I just had to get over my fear, because obviously, like, when you're eating lunch out every day, because you, in the hostel that I stayed at, the Tequila Sunrise hostel, you get free breakfast and free dinner. I guess it's not free, it's part of the price that you pay, but that's what you get. So you just had to make your own lunch. And eating lunch every day is going to cost a lot of money out, obviously depending on what you're getting. But I was having, like, I don't know, I ate a lot of Korean food out there actually. And also I want to say, in these hostels there's a lot of like European people, there's actually not many Australians. I actually don't think, I only met Australians when it came to like restaurants and stuff like that, like serving me and that. I didn't actually meet any Australians, which is so weird because I went to Australia, and I think that's somewhat of the reason why I didn't like it, because it was too too touristy, that's the word. And there's nothing wrong with tourists. I mean, I'm pretty much a tourist, aren't I? However, it just wasn't my vibe. It didn't feel homely. When there's loads of tourists, it's like you can't feel at home as I did at home. I'm going to list some pros and cons. I'm not very good at thinking about things sometimes on the spot. I did this a couple of hours ago, so just bear in mind. But I've got just a few best and worst things. I think I've covered some of it, but I'm going to put this in here. Best, the sun, of course. Like, the weather is amazing. It's so nice, and it's like, I've noticed now, like, I could be wearing obviously just like loungewear and not pyjamas, but like loungewear, and just like go out to the shop. Like, I don't have to put like 50 million layers on and think about that before leaving. And I think that's what makes like British people lazy sometimes, because you actually have to put like 5 layers of clothing on before you leave the house, and that can be time consuming. That's annoying. Whereas like you could have like the least amount of clothes and people walking around in bikinis, and it's just deemed as normal. Like, it's just normal to wear like kind of nothing. I mean, fair enough, like I was wearing nothing. Living close to a beach, obviously depending on where you are. If you're closer to like out back, like going into that kind of area, obviously maybe not, but I was literally 10-minute walk from the beach. 10 minutes. I stayed in Surfers Paradise, which isn't too touristy and too much like, a lot of people would describe it as like Blackpool in the UK, and I would kind of agree. It's just a bit nicer because obviously the weather, and it's just a different sort of vibe. It's not as dull, but I do understand that thing, you know. Another benefit is actually just learning different cultures. As I said before, there were so many European people, so I met so many French people, and there was some of them were just so nice. And now I'm learning French. I've never been to France, and I'm thinking why, but yeah, French people, I really enjoy talking to them, and a few German people, people from around the world really. There's like so many people. Not many British people. I think there was a few British people, I just didn't really talk to them. I don't know why. Just didn't clash in my journey, I guess. But yeah, it's quite good. I like it. Now I learn French. Next thing I say that was good is the heat was actually quite easy to manage. I think obviously because so many places have air conditioning, it's just easy to manage. That's all. I feel like a hot day here is so much hotter than over there. And I feel like there's science behind that. So please tell me. And also, I want to say, the cost of living was, I'm pretty sure it's the same. From my experience, like obviously I live in a small city, like it's about the same, I'd say. There's a lot of things that in the UK I don't pay for though, like rent and stuff. So I wouldn't really know, but I would say it's quite similar. But I guess it depends where you live, because no two places are really the same in the UK. Okay, negatives. We're going to say negatives. I don't want there to be negatives, but I have to be honest. Honesty is the best policy. I've said this before, surface level connections. Obviously, I am such a deep girl. I will ask such deep questions. So, and I guess you still can. It just won't go places. But it can though. That's the thing. Like, it's just a skip the gab. I don't know what the phrase is, to be honest. Towards the end, like, I managed to get some more, like, better friends. I think I said that. Slow life. I think I've explained that as well. Slow life is only enjoyable if you like the life. So, loneliness. I'll definitely say I felt lonely, especially towards the start. But I guess that was just bound to happen, really. Just didn't feel nice at the time. The time difference, it wasn't bad. From where I was staying, it was 10 hours from the UK. It was fine. It wasn't bad at all. You just had to speak day and night. You couldn't speak in the day because one of you would be sleeping. But I think that was fine. It wasn't something really bad. Like, you can still speak to your loved ones. I thought it was going to be a lot harder. I thought I was going to, like, have to stay up more or get up early. But you can catch each other at a good time. Toilets. I just have this fear of spiders being in a toilet or anything green in the toilet. In a city, you're not going to find as much. I do want to say, like, when I went more out back, I went to, like, see some waterfalls and stuff. In the toilet was like I would say, like, the same as a daddy long leg spider, the length of it, but it was thicker. So it wasn't like skinny legs, it was thick legs, like a tarantula, in, like, the corner of the toilet. But I was kind of, like, guessing that was going to be a thing, but I would have definitely rather have peed outside. Not very good with spiders or anything that moves. I think the main reason why is I don't like the feeling of, like, stuff on me. So sometimes my hair is, like, tickling me and I'll get really agitated. So I'm just a bit weird. My head and my heart was, like, a little bit in flux. I was so confused. Like, I actually still don't know if I made the right decision coming back. I don't know. I think coming back has cleared my vision more, but I still don't know. The whole time I was like, I don't know whether to go or whether to leave. So then I booked the flight and I didn't end up cancelling it, so I obviously wanted to leave. But still, that logic doesn't always work. So I just had to go with something, and this just felt more right. But it still didn't feel 100% right. So there's no specific moment for me that thought, like, gotta go home. It was just an accumulation of all the bad things I said. And it was difficult. It was just difficult, and now I know what it's going to be like if I did move again. Even moving in the country, like, I know what it's kind of going to be like. And I gave myself 2 weeks. From, like, the middle mark of the month, I gave myself 2 weeks and I booked the flight, I think I just said, and I obviously just didn't enjoy it that much. Obviously my relationship got involved with this, like, as my first point with it. Like, I was one step in the past and one step in the future, and this was not his fault. Like, this is, like, I could have completely cut him off and it would have been fine, but I didn't want to, because this, like, people go through their whole life without finding anyone for them, and I've met someone that's for me, so why am I there? You know, like, Australia will always stay there if I want to go back, but he might not, you know. And as I said before, like, I'm not going to be stupid and leave for anyone that's, like, stupid, you know. But yeah, I felt like moving there would have filled some kind of void in me, and it didn't. It didn't fill any void. I mean, there's a lot of things that I did enjoy, but filling a void, it just was never reached. Just because I was so unhappy about all the other things. Maybe I'm weak, I don't know. I did plan to maybe move. I mean, when I went to Byron Bay was when I was really not liking where I was, so I wanted to check out Byron, because a lot of people say stuff good about Byron. But I just felt like I would have suffered with the same problem. Like friends, I'm going to still have surface level friends, still going to feel lonely, I'm still going to have the relationship issues, I'm still going to miss my family even if I move. As I said before, I don't know if I've made the right decision. I do feel like I see clearer now that I've came back. I don't know. But Australia will always be there. I do feel like I have failed. There is a strong part of me that didn't want to come home because of the feeling of like explaining to people I didn't work. Because obviously this is like a whole thing with my family. Like, oh my god, this girl's moving to Australia. Like, Charlie's moving to Australia. Ooh, ooh, ooh. But then for me to like come back just over a month later, it feels like I failed. I actually have a fear of judgment, admitting that it didn't work out. Of course, like, that's in my head and no one's gonna like judge me for it, I don't think. However, you still got that in the back of your mind, of course. Well, I'm only human. Returning to the UK, I have definitely become more grateful. I mean, it doesn't help that the last few days of the UK have been really sunny. You can tell, like, it's so bright out. It's not dull. So we'll see how I feel when it gets miserable again. But it is coming into spring, so I think the days are going to be a lot more beautiful. So maybe when it goes back into fall and autumn, I'll go back to Australia. Why not? I don't know. I don't know, but I definitely just appreciate a lot of things more now. I mean, I didn't mind having a coat on yesterday. Like, I appreciated it. Like, I don't know, I can't. There's a lot of things like before I moved, I would kind of just be a bit miserable about and wouldn't want to do as much. But I don't know. I think the UK is actually really beautiful. I just don't think people see it that way because they always see like better. But yeah, look at my boyfriend's avocado plant. It's growing. Look at the roots. Keep looking at it. It's brilliant. The goal is to have a camper van actually, which is exciting. But that's going to be down the road. Not down the road. A long way down the road, basically, for me. Because I need my licence first before I try and get a van. But I do just really enjoy the feeling of coming home. It's nice. But I guess like throughout your life you have different homes. I think sometimes home is people. It's not always a place. I'm excited to create a new life for myself, really. I mean, this has given me the chance to really reset. I mean, I've been at rock bottom twice now. Because I went to Australia, hit rock bottom, and now I'm still at rock bottom because I'm still in the same situation as I was in Australia. It's just in a different country. Like, I've got no job. I'm unemployed, you know? But that's fine because everything's working out. It's fine. No, it's going to be fun. I just had a really nice long holiday. It was nice. But if I obviously knew, as I said before, that I was going to leave, I would have enjoyed it a lot more. But that's just the gift of the gab. I keep saying that, but I don't actually know what it means. So it's probably wrong. This is going to be a repeated point, but what I've learned from this experience is to save more money. Just to ease the back of my mind. Like, even if I don't use all the money, it's still there and it's still emergency money, and it would give me more time. I didn't feel like I was running out of time. And hostels get expensive. I mean, you pay it like what, week by week, and it's like $300, like £150. It's a lot. Even more than that. It's like £200 a week. That's a lot. That's a lot. Especially from someone that actually doesn't pay rent. It's a lot. It's a lot. I also learned that I need to cook more. I need to stop eating out. I think it's fine to eat out a little bit. I think, like, you go into a place, you want to try new places, and that includes food as well. However, if I was going to stay there, I need to save more money. I need to just be a bit more reluctant with it. But that's just something I need to learn. I don't regret anything, to be honest. it's all experience. I mean, I know how I'm going to feel if I leave the country again. I know more what I want than I ever have before, so I don't regret it. It's just spent a lot of money knowing what I want, you know, which is fine. I don't think you ever make the wrong decision. It's just how I feel, you know. And I've came back with a lovely tan. I am peeling though, which is annoying. Look at that little patch. But I did get burnt right before I left. I think it might be fine, but yeah, it's nice. Because me from the first video that I put in here to now, I was so pale then. I feel like you can never tell the difference. And as I said before, Australia will never leave, so I can always go back, and you can always travel there as well. It's a long way to go, but planes are fine, it's fine. Advice. Whether you want to take advice from me or not, it's up to you. I mean, I feel like I've got experience now, so take it with a pinch of salt. However, this is just my experience. Don't expect anything. Don't expect your life to come together like that, like perfectly. It doesn't work like that. It's the same as anywhere in the world. Like, things come at their own time. Obviously, put in the work, definitely, but some random things come out of nowhere. I've heard a lot of people just randomly get a job by just doing something random, or like just speaking to someone. Like, the best decisions come from when you're not even doing that. So just put yourself in good situations and talk to people, because people are all we know, really. Give yourself time. And this seems very hypocritical because obviously I left. However, I definitely knew that it would get better over time. This is me coming back though, thinking about this. Like, I would never have thought this if I was still there. It would have got better. As I said, like, the last 2 weeks were actually okay. So give yourself more time. At least give yourself 2 months. It's hard at the time because obviously I know how I felt then, but I'd say give yourself at least 2 months. If obviously you're not enjoying it, then leave. But you can't expect to feel settled in a month. Which is stupid of me, but it was hard because it felt like the slowest month of my entire life. Which here, like, months go so fast, but there it was so slow. But it's because of working, that's all. You can always come back, and this is why I have to keep telling myself, like, I can always go back. Whether I go back now, probably not. However, who knows what's going to happen. As I said, I've got new goals. I didn't throw away one dream to, like, just come back and work. I've got another dream to work towards, which will be a lot easier on the heart and the head, because I can always go back home. So yeah, my last piece of advice would travel first. I said it before, travel the East Coast, travel Perth, travel everywhere, because you don't know where you're going to want to stay. I just assumed the Gold Coast was going to be for me, but I've never been, so that makes absolutely no sense. So that's something I've learned. Don't take, like, the internet and people's opinions to heart, because as much as they're probably telling the truth, you like different things. We all value different things. So yeah. Obviously you don't have to take my advice, but it's up to you. So yeah, I am back in the UK, and I do plan on making more videos still. Of course, maybe they won't be as interesting, but I do plan on maybe getting some other people in them, or I don't know. I still feel anxious recording. I mean, to be honest, this is my third video. What do you expect? But yeah, thank you. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a lovely day, and I guess I'll see you later. See you soon. Maybe.